Virgin current Destiny 2 armor versus TWID Edge of Fate armor. What is up, guys? It's your boy Rick Gakis, and today we're discussing armor. This is one of the biggest changes happening with Destiny 2 during the launch of the Edge of Fate. Specifically, in this video, we're going to be discussing exactly what is changing with armor, and then I'm going to be showing every single armor set I saw, including the new armor set bonuses during the recent gameplay capture event for the Edge of Fate. So massive thank you to Bungie for inviting me out and making this video possible. And so let's get started. First of all, guys, we need to discuss those changes. How is the armor in the Edge of Fate different? Well, first of all, just like weapons, it is tiered. So we're going to be looking at the best of the best tier 5 armor to see what exactly is possible in this new system. Now, I made a separate video going over all of the specific differences between the tiers, how to earn higher tiers, all that stuff. That's linked right up above. But a quick summary, tier 1 to 3 will give you better stats. Then for tier 4, you actually get 11 energy. Yes, this is one of the biggest changes right off the bat. One more energy means some all new mod combinations. In fact, what you're seeing right here with 2 Arc Siphon mods and a major stat boost, in this case to my grenade, and then I also have 2 more energy remaining for a kinetic siphon that would not be possible currently. So even though it is just 1 more energy, again, it unlocks some pretty crazy potential. Now on top of that, at tier 5, you unlock a brand new tuning mod slot. So this is kind of replacing the current Artifice armor slot, but instead of giving you +3 to whatever stat you want, now you can choose 1 to each of the 3 stats that is currently not being increased by your armor piece, so still 3 stats in total, and then also you have a bunch of plus and minus mods. As you can see, you have ones that give me +5 grenade, but then they might lower my super by -5. And this matters quite a bit because remember, stats are getting overhauled in the Edge of Fate as well. So now every single point is going to matter, not just every 10 points, and you can go above 100 of a certain stat all the way to 200. Now at this point, I'm sure some of you guys have looked over in the stats section and went, what the heck is weapons? There's a weapon stat? Yeah, again, stats are being completely overhauled within the Edge of Fate. Let's look at what these new stats are. First of all, guys, we have health. This is going to influence how much health you get from an orb and also influence your flinch resistance. When it's over 100, you have more shield recharge and bigger shields against combatants. Then for melee, before 100, it's going to influence your melee recharge speed, and then after 100, which I am, it influences your melee damage. Moving on from there, for grenade, before 100 is your grenade recharge speed, after 100 is your grenade damage. For your super, same thing. Then you have class. So before is your class ability recharge rate, after 100, you're actually going to gain an overshield when you use your class ability, and that overshield will be more powerful the more points you have. And then finally, for weapons, it will actually influence your reload speed and handling, as well as your damage against minor and major combatants in PvE below 100, and then above 100, ammo bricks from defeated targets have a chance to contain additional rounds, and it increases weapon damage against bosses and opposing guardians in the Crucible. So, keeping all that in mind, you might be wondering, well, like, there's all these stats, how am I going to get 200 of a certain stat? That seems insane. Well, it's not insane with the new armor archetype system. So, taking a look at our first example here, we have Grenadier. So, there are 6 archetypes total, and any piece of Edge of Fate armor can randomly spawn into one of these archetypes. For Grenadier, the primary stat is always going to be Grenade, and then the secondary stat is always going to be Super. And then the third stat is random, just not grenade or super. In this case, it's weapons. So you can see like my grenade stat is plus 30, super is plus 25. So you get these massive spikes and we have nothing, literally zero in the 3 other stats I don't have featured. Moving on from there, for the next armor archetype, we have Brawler. So main stat melee, secondary stat health. Then after that, we have Gunner. So main stat weapons, secondary stat grenade. After that, we have Specialist. So main stat class, secondary stat weapons. And then we have Paragon. So primary stat super, secondary stat melee. And then finally, we have Bulwark. Primary stat health, secondary stat class. So if you are able to get like all Brawler pieces, that's how you're going to get guaranteed melee spikes and massively boost up your melee to around 200, right? Obviously, mixing and matching is going to get you a more varied degree of stats, but that is the new armor archetype system, guys. But moving on from there, we finally get to set bonuses, another massive change coming to armor in the Edge of Fate. So, our first set here is the Bushido set. This is what it looks like, and it, along with other armor sets that have set bonuses, will have 2 different set bonuses, a 2-piece and a 4-piece, which means you can combine 2 2-pieces or commit to 1 to get the 2-piece and the 4-piece. Now that does leave 1 extra armor piece left over for your exotic slot, guys. So with this Bushido set, the 2-piece bonus is Final Blows with freshly drawn or reloaded weapons heal you. And then the 4-piece is Bow, Shotgun, or Sword Final Blows temporarily reduce incoming damage. Damaging targets with those weapons extends the effect. I mean, this seems pretty juicy for PvE, especially with bows. I mean, you're gonna reload after every single shot, so you're gonna be healing yourself and increasing your damage resistance every single kill. That seems very good. Now, in terms of how you acquire this set, from my understanding, I think it's just like a random world drop set. I'm not 100% sure about this Bushido set. The other sets I'm much more sure about, so I apologize for that. But moving on from there, the next set, which is acquired from the Kepler destination. You've probably seen this in promotional images for the Edge of Fate. This is going to be the Aion Renewal set, and this is how it looks. What about those set bonuses? Well, the 2-piece is Force Converter. After a final blow with any rocket or grenade launcher, sprint for a short time to gain speed booster. Then the 4-piece bonus is Reactive Booster. Once per activation of Force Converter, sprinting while at critical health, being suspended, or being slowed by a stasis effect will immediately grant Speed Booster for a short duration. So I tried this out, and Speed Booster is basically the same kind of boost you get when you have Amplified and you're on Arc. So you definitely get some pretty noticeable increases to your speed, and being able to break out of a suspension and start going fast could be pretty good as well. Now, moving on from there, guys, our next set is the Techsec set. Now, this is, I believe, going to drop from Vanguard activities in PvE. This is how it looks, guys. And in terms of those set bonuses, the 2-piece is called Wrecker. You deal significantly increased kinetic damage to combatant shields, overshields, vehicles, and constructs, and they just say what constructs are. Then for the 4-piece bonus, you get concussive rounds. Defeating powerful combatants or breaking combatant shields with kinetic damage releases a disorienting kinetic shockwave. So again, this seems very good for PvE, especially if you have a build that is really relying on a powerful kinetic weapon. And there's no shortage of amazing kinetic weapons out there. Just use this, you don't have to worry about shields. And I mean, just defeating powerful combatants, that's basically defeating any yellow bar will drop a disorienting kinetic shockwave. Again, that's gonna happen quite a bit. But moving on from there to the last set we're going to showcase, kind of thematically, we have the Last Discipline set. And this is the base Crucible set, I believe. Now, in terms of, how it looks, you can see. And then for the set bonuses here, the first one, the two-piece is Terminal Velocity. Final blows with primary ammo weapons grant your primary ammo weapons temporarily increased reload speed. Then the four-piece is Power Loader. Picking up an orb of power grants special ammo progress. Certainly something that could be pretty spicy in the Crucible itself, but also again in PvE, converting all of those orbs of power, especially, if you already have your super, converting all those into potential special ammo, that's pretty juicy too. And so that's it for this video, but I have a ton of new Edge of Fate videos going live, so make sure to hit that subscribe button and especially press that notification bell so you don't miss them. Guys, that's it for the video. Hope you enjoyed and found this informative. If you did, please remember to help me out by simply rating and especially sharing this video. If you guys want to see more Destiny 2 content similar to this, don't be afraid to slap that subscribe button. If you want to get in touch with me and keep up to date with the latest channel activity, the best way is to follow me on Twitter at RickCacus. That is linked in the description down below. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.